right, welcome. Bitcoin is getting a bounce, and I told you if you guys watched my live stream yesterday, which I don't think many people did, that I said you can go rewatch it. It's still up. I said I'm still long on Bitcoin. It doesn't look fantastic, but I stayed long, and so far, now I'm back in the money. My average entry price, I entered a little high 2 days ago on Monday at 88.7, but it looks like I can still win this trade. So again, I opened up this trade on the weekly time frame because we're oversold on the weekly. This weekly is so oversold right now, and it's about to start covering up on the stock RSI. I could see this getting either to new all-time high, but at least right now, my current take profit is this 21-day moving average, this blue line up here at 110, 111,000. As I speak, the current take profit is $111,000. I think we're going to get past that. And this is actually a higher low. If this low is confirmed, this is a higher low on the weekly time frame, and this would project, and we could assume that we've made a higher low. Now we can make a higher high above $126,000. I did say earlier this month that Bitcoin does not close this monthly candle at the end of November above 105. I think we're in a bear market. I did say that, but I'm open-minded as well. I'm now seeing the weekly make a higher low. If that happens, I have to go with the trend, and the trend is still to the upside. Higher high, higher low. You can expect a higher high. So I said earlier, I think we're in a bear market. If this is the low, I do believe the bull market's still on. Okay, so I can kind of change what I said. I am, but this is a higher low on the weekly. The fear and greed index is at 10. The last time we were at 10 was like down here at 80,000. So this is a slightly higher high. I have to think the trend is going to continue to the upside on the weekly. Obviously, on the daily, 2-day, and 3-day, at least on the 2-day, you're still kind of bearish because you're below the daily. But I do believe, like the 2-day and 3-day are also oversold. 3-day lost it for a brief moment, but is getting back above it. And I would say the higher time frames, like the 4-day and higher, because the 4-day never lost to 200. The 4-day and above are very bullish. The trend is still very much to the upside on the 4-day time frame. I think this is like a capitulation event to get everyone out before we do make a new high. Now, do we go to 200,000? I don't want to get ahead of myself. My first target is I'm going to take profit at 111. If the 21 comes down and we kind of go sideways, then maybe we'll take profit earlier. But whenever the 21-day moving average on the weekly time frame touches price action, I'll take profit there. If that's 111, cool. If it comes down to 95, cool. I think it's going to be above 95, but we'll see. And I'll make a video if I get out because this is a macro long-term trade. And I'm doing this on Bluefin under my copy trading account. So if you want to follow me, copy trade me, you can go do that on there. But I believe that this is a higher low and we're going to continue higher. Now, short term, what's going to be the next step? Also, I want to show you that there's more liquidity now to the upside around $95,000 for Bitcoin. That was not there yesterday. So I do see there's still a lot of liquidity down here, 80, but it's looking more like yesterday we saw some liquidity for the first time at 91. Now we're seeing some at 95, and that was not there yesterday or 2 days ago for sure. It wasn't there. So right now, let's go to the smaller time frames. The 1 hour got above the 200-day moving average. Anytime that happens, I look for the 2 hour to get to the 200. The 2 hours all the way up at 93.2, 93K. I would be expecting maybe some consolidation here, and maybe in a day we're at 93,000. Overall, you can expect lower you can expect some choppiness because it is a holiday week. But at the end of the day, maybe it doesn't happen till Friday. I'm fine with that. It's a macro long-term trade. But 93,000 looks like the most likely next target, as long as we can stay above the moving averages on the smaller time frames, such as the 1 hour, half hour, and 15-minute. If we do that, I think if we stay above $87,000, then I don't see any reason why. I would say if we stay above 87,000, I don't see any reason why we can't go up to the 2 hour 200 around 93K. Then if you get above that, you look for the 3 hour 200, and I use moving averages, and it's gonna be what makes me a multimillionaire in the future. So this is what I'm doing right now as we speak. I'm long on the weekly, but I'm using the smaller time frames to kind of project short-term price action of where I can see us going next. And again, maybe we don't get much good price action for the next 48 hours because of the holiday Thanksgiving. But at the end of the day, sooner rather than later, maybe this weekend or something, I see 93K happening. I'd be surprised if it doesn't happen. So if we hold 87K, I see 93K happening in the next 2 or 3 days. I would say it's sooner, but again, it's the holiday. And if you just think about it, and if you just look at this, this is like becoming now an uptrend on the smaller time frame. So we'll see what happens. But the Fear and Greed Index has made a higher low. Stock RSI on the weekly has made a higher low. And we have more liquidity, not more liquidity, but we are building liquidity above us at 95K. And I also, on my macro, I've been in this trade almost 3 weeks now on my BitGet bot, trading bot. I've been in this trade I started buying at 106 and the bought the low at 83. And at this point, it didn't buy 80, but I bought 83. And at this point, the take profit's 95K. So I would love to at least, even if we only get to 95K and roll over, which I think we're getting above it, but if we don't get above 95K, I'd be happy to just get a hair above 95K, take my profit on that macro trade. Because for me, it's a decent amount. It's 0.09 Bitcoin in the trade, so it's worth at this point over $10,000. So oh wait, no, not quite 10. 8 or 9,000. 9,000. So either way, we'll see what happens. But I'm looking for 93K in the next 48 to 72 hours, if not sooner. And have a great Thanksgiving. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully this breaks it down for you, and hopefully it makes sense to you. Don't overthink it, guys. The trend's your friend till the end. On the 4-day, the trend's very much to the upside. On the smaller time frame, it's still to the downside. But if you just look at this trend line I drew here, as long as you hold 87K, you could even say 85K if you want to be conservative. If you hold 85, I would say 87K though. I think you can say 87K. I don't see why we don't continue up to 93K short term, and eventually probably about at 110 on the weekly. Whenever the weekly gets that far away from the 21-day moving average, it's always come back to it. Don't overthink it. Don't get jumbled up in the smaller time frames. Sometimes you have to look at all time frames. I agree with that. But don't get over jumbled up. Like right here, Bitcoin got away from the 21. It took a long time. It took 2 or 3 months, but it came back down. You could have entered a short right around here. Maybe got stopped out once, re-entered, and you would have made a decent amount. You would have shorted from 109 down to 91, and in all reality, that's a pretty good short. This is not financial advice. This is what I'm doing, and I'm still long on Bitcoin. I could see, honestly, for the next 3 to 4 months, Bitcoin just continuing to the upside here. Like, I don't see why. I know this is becoming a long video, but if we do call this a falling wedge on the weekly time frame, which is exactly what it is, so, you know, and it's been oversold now. The weekly has been oversold for quite some time. It was even oversold up here at 107, then it went up to 125 again, but it never was completely oversold, I suppose. So you would take it from the last time it was completely oversold after it got overbought, and you're looking at really, let me just see. If you do it from right there, let's just see what the target is. I've never done this before. Hopefully you guys are watching to the end. Okay, that's not crazy, but it does suggest that Bitcoin can make a slightly new all-time high. Even if it's only to 130 this year, I'd be very happy. Even if we only get above, even if we only touch 130, 131 next year, I'm okay with that. And then we have a bear market. But I would like one more high for Bitcoin. Either way, that's my update. I see Bitcoin making a new all-time high here sometime in the next 2 or 3 months, maybe 3 or 4. But I see it happening sooner than later, and I don't think the bull run's over. So my theory about the 105 not being hit by the end of the month is invalidated based on the higher low on the weekly for Bitcoin. Have a great